Hello everyone, this is Ken of Soda. Welcome back to another video. So today's video will be a fun and interesting one. Yesterday on June 13, the new 1.21 Tricky Trials update for Minecraft has officially been released. How exciting is that? It adds a number of new uses to Copper, a cool mob, a new type of dungeon, and a lot of other cool stuff which I am so excited to talk about. In this video, we'll be going over each of the new additions they added to the update, as well as one of the 1.20 mini releases that include the new wolves and armadillos. However, let's pretend it's part of 1.21. Shh. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, the first thing I'd like to talk about is what they added in the 1.20 mini release. About the new armadillo mob, I'm not too hyped about it, but it's still kind of interesting nonetheless. Not in a bad way though. It won the 2023 Minecraft mob vote that people like to complain about for no reason. I mean, people have literally tried to boycott it. Look, I get it. I mean, the options weren't too bright in my opinion, and I really wish they could have added like the ice soldiers, mood blooms, the other mobs that lost the previous votes. But I don't like complaining about this kind of stuff like everyone else does already, which I think it's so annoying because it's just a game. It's really not that serious. But regardless, I think they're kind of cute. Although I only voted for them so we could get the wolf armor, which is kind of dark, but whatever. Which I will discuss in a moment. So, the wolf variants. I was very excited about this addition, as I'm sure a lot of people were. I mean, for many years, we've mainly had the iconic white wolf, and the only way you could tell your dogs apart was name tags or different collar colors, which is really not much to use. And not to mention that cats and horses came in other colors, so why not get the wolves like everyone was already saying? So when the news broke that they were going to add these, a lot of people got excited. After so many long years of having only one type of wolf, we can have multiple wolves. The specific variant of wolves depends on the biome they spawn in, and their fur would match said biome. I mean, how cool is that? There have been 8 added wolf variants, so now we have 9 in total. How cool is that? Like I already said. And speaking of wolves and armadillos, we now have the wolf armor. I think that's why a lot of people voted for the armadillo, which is kind of dark, but hey, whatever works best. What you can do is take armadillo shells and make them into wolf armor and just let your wolf wear it. Even better, you can dye the armor just like you can with leather. So your wolf will have something protective, but also cute to wear. I think this can be another thing that can further help tell your wolves apart, especially since you've had the same clones of white ones for many, many years. So yeah, that is the end of this section right here. Even though it was technically already released, it's still kind of a new thing, and it's quite amazing to think about. Pretty cool so far, huh? Well, we have just begun to scratch the surface on what more there is to come, and this, my friends, is the true update. So I'll be going over each things that have been added, and this will be quite a long section, so bear and stick with me. So, the first biggest change is the new copper block variants. Ever since they were introduced in 1.17, they had several good uses, though not as much. They were common ores used as lightning rods, building blocks, filling up your inventory when mining, but that was about it, apart from the different oxidized stages that gave you more building blocks to use. They were later used in the armor trims, even though that was pretty cool, still not a lot of uses. But now, they have so much more uses, especially for blocks. You can now use them as doors, trapdoors, grates, lights, and they get the chisel design as well. I love getting more building blocks to use, especially with the doors and trapdoors. And I like how you don't have to use a pressure plate or anything redstone power to open a copper door or turn on a copper light, unlike the iron doors. Additionally, I like how you can even have the different oxidized variants with the new copper blocks. And if you think new copper blocks were enough, check out tuff bricks. Tuff was this material you always find in deep slate. It never really had much use other than just inventory fillers, so they were never really interesting to me. But now, we get to have more building materials to work with. Yeah, they look kind of similar to polished andesite and stone bricks, but in my opinion, it really doesn't hurt to have more building blocks to use for your builds. And you don't have to let tuff go to waste, especially since, as stated before, they served really no other purpose. And look at that, more chiseled variants. So far, we have seen new uses for copper and tuff. What about other simple things we've had in Minecraft for many years, such as potions and paintings? Well, you're about to get more of that in a moment. So, the first thing I like to talk about is that there are 3 new music discs. Just like how you can get Pigstep from the Nether and Disc 5 from Ancient Cities, there are 3 new discs you can get from the Trial Chambers. Creator, Precipice, is that how you say it? And Creator Music Box. I have not listed them yet. I wanted to wait till later to surprise myself. But this is something I still wanted to talk about. I love how even after disc came out, Mojang added more discs along the way, specifically special discs, which you can find in special places like Pigstep and Disc 5. So I like how they're really continuing this little trend. And in this case, we have 3 new discs, so it's just not limited to dungeons or a skeleton shooting a creeper. So, that is definitely something to look forward to. I bet Tommy in it must be so excited. Here's another big thing. We now have 20 new paintings. Yes, you heard that right. You will now have more decorative choices to put on your wall. Now, for a long time, we've always been familiar with these iconic paintings. We always knew where to use them, how to use them, and all that. So, when I heard that they were going to add more paintings, I was very thrilled. We previously had 15 paintings, which, as I said before, we can all agree are the most iconic up there with the Mona Lisa. So now, it's 15 plus 20, 35. We will now have 35 paintings. Here are the new paintings they will be adding, shown on your screen. And here are some close-ups. I mean, come on guys, Da Vinci could never. And fun fact, these new paintings were made by the same person who made the classic ones. With 35 paintings added to the game, I feel like one could make an entire art museum dedicated to these 35 paintings alone. In fact, I'm actually building an art museum in my world. I've already put the classic paintings, and I plan to add the others soon. Up next, we will be talking about 2 new smithing templates. Since they were introduced in the previous major update, they became kind of a pinnacle to Minecraft. In fact, it was so great that, as you can tell, Mojang decided to add new templates to their update. Honestly, I never really expected them to add new smithing templates, but I'm really glad they did. The trims they added are the flow and the bolt trims. Just like the music discs, they can be found within the trial chambers. What's interesting is the flow trim is breeze themed, while the bolt trim is copper themed. You can tell because of the colors, which are beautiful. You may read more into them on your own time, but I still love how we're getting new armor combinations. And speaking of armor trims, I am currently in the process of making a video about armor trims. I'm working on another video as well, but when I get done with this and that, look forward to the armor trim commentary. Okay, so we still have a long way to go, but don't worry, just hang in there. The next thing I'd like to talk about is a crafter. So I will say right now, I'm no redstone expert at all, but from what I can tell, it is essentially an automated crafting table. So basically like a crafting table, but it crafts things automatically for you. Remember we got the blast furnace and smoker, more advanced versions of a basic furnace? I believe the crafter has a similar concept, but it seems like it's on like a whole new level. As I said, I'm so bad at redstone, so I really have no comment about crafters, but they seem to be the kind of thing that would make a player's life easier when it comes to crafting. However, I think I'm quite comfortable with using the crafting table for now, but I do plan on giving the crafter a try, because why not? So far, you've seen that each new additional basic item excluding the paintings, have a pattern of being trial chamber or copper related, which suits pretty well, which you will see here in this new example and more. We now have new types of potions. One right here is the ominous bottle, which exists for some reason. I mean, you can tell it's ominous. Basically, it has around 5 levels, and when you drink it, you get the bad omen effect for a certain amount of time, depending on the level. And if you don't know what the bad omen effect is, if you enter a village, a raid will start. So unless you want to fight pillagers or laugh at watching the villagers get absolutely massacred, don't drink the potion. It's still a cool price to keep though. But wait, there's more. You have the potion of infestation, potion of oozing, potion of weaving, and potion of wind charging. And these ones have mainly negative effects. However, what's so interesting about these specific potions is that when a mob infected by said effect dies, something else will spawn in their place. I'll let you pause for a moment to read the different effects, but that's just insane. Not in a bad way, but a really crazy way. You can even read more about them on the wiki or try it yourself. So, this little section is a little shorter, but the next new thing is enchanted books. The enchantments are Destiny, Windburst, and Breach. What's even more interesting is they're made specifically for the mace, the new weapon we will talk about soon. However, you can use only one enchantment per mace. They all have their own special effects and levels. You can read more about these new enchantments here, or you can Google it. Next, there are 3 new pottery shards. Just like with the armor trims, pottery shards were also introduced in 1.20 and had a lot of fun to work with, thereby adding new exciting things for decorations. You could get as creative as you want with a lot of patterns to use. With this in mind, new additional pottery shards have been added, and they are trial chamber related. The shards are Flow, Guster, and Scrape. Now, you have more decorative ideas to tackle with pots. How fun is that? I mean, it's kind of a small add-on, but with the trial chamber stuff going on, it's still quite fun nonetheless. Okay, so last but not least is that there are 2 new banner patterns. This is yet another iconic aspect in Minecraft. Banners are very fun and decorative, and pretty much the original custom creative thing, followed by armor trims. We've had the iconic banner patterns for years, and now we're getting patterns that are also trial chamber related, Flow and Guster. You know, I think I'm detecting a theme with the names and the little designs, which is very interesting. Okay, now that this second section is over, I think we can all agree that these new 1.21 add-ons I mentioned above really adds more to the game. It takes pre-existing items and adds more to it. Like it was one of those Minecraft mods that added more discs and paintings. And now we're actually getting some in vanilla Minecraft. You know, I never thought they'd do something like this, aside from discs, but I'm really glad they did. No more the merrier, right? And last but not least, all of these amazing additions I previously talked about, it was all just the beginning. Not only that, but they all have a very strong connection with the biggest new addition yet, trial chambers. So, what are the trial chambers exactly? Well, the trial chamber is essentially a dungeon with challenges and cool treasures set ahead of you, which are dangerous and fun. So, think about when you raid a temple like you'd raid loot from a stronghold or one of those classic dungeons, but with so much more new and advanced things, facing new challenges, getting extremely rare treasures and materials, and all of that. A number of new added items I mentioned in the previous categories can be found here, and all these loot chests, but there's a whole lot more here than what has already been said. So, I opened up a new world and found myself a trial chamber to look at, and earned this nice little achievement in the process. I took a look around in spectator modes to, see what it had, as I had briefly seen pictures and didn't care too much about it before doing research for this video. But after taking a look around seeing what it had, it was honestly really cool. I even love how they used the new copper and tuff blocks to their advantage and really incorporated it into this fresh update with this new set of blocks to use. So I think this was very clever on their part. And the design looks really cool and unique as well. So, What does this new structure have to offer? Well, meet the two new mobs added, the Breeze and Bogged. The Bogged is a skeleton variant that spawns in swampy biomes, like the regular swamp and the mangrove swamp, but also trial chambers as well, specifically from those trial spawners we will talk about later. They move slower than skeletons, but hear me out. They shoot poison arrows. Wow, that's definitely going to be a challenge, especially when trying to go through the swamps at night. I already suffer from strays. But speaking of strays, I love how we are getting more variants of mobs. This one with skeletons, especially after we got the strays. And we definitely had the same thing with zombies too. I love this so much. Which brings us to the second mob, the Breeze. Is yet another hostile mob that not only spawns in trial chambers, but is also very dangerous as well. You can read more about it on the wiki, but it's basically a blaze variant, and it will shoot wind charges at you. It is insane. And while we're on the topic of variants of classic mobs, I love how it's not limited to cows, zombies, and skeletons. We also have a variant of Blaze, especially with its own environment and everything. It's like an air/wind version of the Blaze, which represents fire. And if you add 2 more, you could master all 4 elements and become the Avatar. I'm kidding. But seriously, we should add more Blaze variants. So after you defeat the Breeze, they drop Breeze Rods. Look at that, another addition to Minecraft. So you can then use the Breeze Rods to create a new weapon, the Mace. Just like we did the Trident, we now have another custom weapon, other than sword, axe, bow, and crossbow. Now, from first glance, a lot of players noticed that this didn't look like what was supposed to be a mace at all. It looks more like Thor's hammer more than anything. I'm not sure why, but it's fun, I'm not gonna complain. This weapon is extremely powerful because you can use it by jumping from a very high place and killing the mob, depending on how high you jumped. That's insane. You can even use this thing to cause damage to the warden if you jump high enough. Like the Trident, there's special enchantments to it, which we already mentioned above. I did notice some people were worried that it might be too OP, but one user replied that the Breeze Rods are advanced and hard to get, so I think it shouldn't be too bad. Maces are also crafted from heavy cores, which can be found in ominous vaults. Now, the other stuff like trial vaults, keys, and spawners I won't be going over as much, since it's a little more advanced, but I do know you can use keys to open vaults, whether they be ominous or normal. And you get an insane amount of loot from the vaults. I think I explained almost everything I need to explain, so I don't drag this video out for too long. But what I already mentioned in the previous categories is really all you need to know. So, to top it all off, here's my review of the Tricky Trials update. I think it's pretty great and exciting. What I found the most interesting about is that it added to pre-existing stuff in Minecraft, such as the new copper blocks, discs, paintings, potions, smithing templates, etc. Especially the paintings and banner patterns. Since we've pretty much had the same ones for years, I'm not saying it's bad if we had the same iconic ones for years, but it's very refreshing to add more to it. Like it was a kind of more types of items mod or something like that. I think I explained everything about this already. However, I feel like my only complaint, which isn't really major, is a completely missed opportunity to add copper golems. I don't care if it lost a mob vote, but I feel like it would have fit the update a lot. I mean, the loser mobs did have a lot of potential, and even if they did win, we shouldn't let them go to waste. And since the update was very copper heavy, I definitely wish they added copper golems. I will also say that I most definitely did not cover anything but just the basics on what you need to know and my thoughts about it. Personally, I like to learn about new updates on my own even after I hear about it and analyze it and all that, like literally interacting with them in-game when the update arrives. I hope that made sense. Overall, I really have nothing else to say. I look forward to more updates in the future. Personally, I don't really care what Mojang adds to the game. As long as I'm having a fun time, it should be good. The more the merrier. This video, however, did require a lot of research on the Minecraft wiki, and I would definitely like to make more Minecraft related commentary videos in the future, especially whatever new updates come out in 1.22. So, at the time I'm scripting this, I'm currently in the process of editing another commentary video, which will be a non-Minecraft related drama video about an annoying user I wanted to make for a while. I've been working back and forth on this and that video. Expect that one to come out in, 2 weeks from now, since I'll be vacationing next week for a couple days. I don't know the full details yet, but I'll keep y'all updated. I'm also working on a third video about Minecraft armor trims, so after I'm done with these 2 videos, I'll cover that too. Alright, I appreciate you all for sticking around, and please do subscribe for more content. You may request a video idea if necessary. Just let me know, and I might look into it. But there's no guarantee. Other than that, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you all in the future. Bye!